Before we get into it, no, parang siguro kasi marami sa mga Pilipino hindi masyadong familiar sa pole vaulting, which is a little sad. So I'm just wondering, paano mo na-encounter ang pole vaulting of all the sports, of all the type of, 'di ba, games and sports that you can do? How did it become pole vaulting?
Family. My dad was a pole vaulter. That was the key gateway for me to be a pole vaulter. There's no secret about it. He was the one who started my journey in this sport that I still love. It's a totally different how do you say, way of getting into sport. Like, it's not like basketball that it's very accessible. It's not like boxing that is very popular. So it was something that was introduced to me by my parents, by my dad at such an early age, the age of 5 or 6. So it was something that it was my playground growing up. Like, the stadium, the track oval was my playground. And that's pretty much how I got into it. That's how I got started into it. And it just developed into certain different, how do you say this? A certain different passion. It might be a passion, it might be a ticket for something. It might have been like the motivation to continue has been consistently changing.
How was it like as a kid? Have you thought that you will be one of the top pole vaulters in the world?
Growing up, it was just for fun. When I went to elementary school, when I started to actually have competitions, there was no pole vault. That's where I actually not moved out. I still do pole vaulting, but I did hurdling. So that kind of sidetracked my passion because it was not something that was accessible for my age group. Then high school came in, and the first 2 years I started to do pole vaulting. I was not good, but I was still doing hurdling. But my passion for pole vault was there because I see my dad. But there's also like, it's a double-edged sword. My dad was known in the country as one of the best who have ever done it in Philippines, and it was a big shoe to fill. The good thing, or one of the biggest thing that pushed me to continue, was I saw it as a ticket for me to get better education. That's why I chose pole vaulting, to focus more on it than hurdling, and then so on and so forth. The decision to choose pole vaulting has always consistently changed. Like, the motivation to continue has always been progressively changing.
Parang the fact na sabi mo nga parang your dad at the time, di ba, was the most known pole vaulter in the Philippines. That's a different type of pressure din naman, right? So at what point in a way did it parang transition na it was the dream of your dad and you wanted to fulfill it for your dad, to where, okay, this is EJ's dream. This is really mine. It's not exactly the same as my dad's.
It's probably in 2017. 2017, I tore my ACL. It was supposed to be a career-ending injury. It was done. That was tough because there was a decision for me to make, and it was pretty much in a two decision: is continue pole vaulting and try to do what you can after a supposed to be career-ending injury, or just finish your studies and live a life. And that was when I understood how much I love the sport, and that's how much it has given me, how much it have made me the man I am now, and how much it meant to me. And I knew I wanted to give it a shot. I knew at that time that this was mine. Like, I wanted to give it a shot. I want to be an Olympian. I want to go to Olympics. I want to experience that in my life. I don't know what are the odds. The odds of me doing that at that time might not be high. But I remember my dad was pushing me to, or my parents was pushing me to take the more secure path, which I understand, which makes a lot of sense, and I would probably do the same thing in their shoes. But it was at that time that I needed to own up and really understand what I want. And that's where I think pole vaulting became mine. This dream that I'm living, this is mine. This is what I want. This is what drives me. This is what motivates me. But of course, I always consider myself as a realist. I gave a timeline. Like I'm not just, oh, I'm gonna put all of my life to this. I said, give me until 2020, until Tokyo Olympics. If I don't make Tokyo, if I don't qualify for Olympics, giving everything that I've got, then that's a sign for me to let it go. A lot of things have happened after that moment in time, but if there's a question where the dream became mine, it's in 2017.